And we're back. Let me ask you guys a question. How do you worsen a situation that is already pretty delicate? By bringing the reason why this mess happened in the first place. And that is exactly what happened at Conosport. Callie and Aiden are absolutely hating each other, and now Devon is back. I already said this in the description of the last video, and I will say it again. If things don't go kaboom, it's gonna be a miracle. Anyway, we read the news, the socials, the emails, so off to the next chapter.
Tagging off? Hey.
Ooh. Scared the life out of me, mate.
I didn't mean to. Picking up any tips?
I don't think they like the short strays here.
You didn't mind them, did you?
I love this track. Always do well here. Well, used to.
How are you doing, Devon?
Me? Golden, mate. Loving life.
Yeah, sure.
You know what it's like to leave all this behind, don't you?
Yeah, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Yeah, well, like that. But, I didn't choose this, Casper. I didn't.
I know.
You came back, right? How's it treating you?
Ups and downs?
How's our old teammate doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's happy here.
He still thinks he belongs in that top team, see? He's never let it go. That's the problem. You know, I could have a word with him. I mean, if you think that might help.
It's all a bit delicate.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I understand.
No, Devon, I mean it.
Yeah? Scouts on 'em, mate.
Hey, we need your input on this one.
Trouble in the garage. An anonymous source that talked to the press how about Callie must not be Chris at Conosport. It sounds like him from the mechanic guy running Callie in the garage. Oh god. The press are really latching onto the story. How would you handle it? Cautious or discipline? I honestly have no idea. Discipline sounds too harsh because what if that's not the guy? You know what? Cautious. Devon's just been in. He said the two of you had a little chat and we both agree Aiden needs a bit of extra motivation. Is that true? Is it just a setting an unexpected finishing position for him this weekend as third? No offense, boss, but that seems a bit overly ambitious. What's the plan? Decline or agree? Agree. The reporter didn't seem too happy, but he took the apology on board and agreed to not pursue Andrew anymore. The students disappeared and the team were able to focus on the race weekend. Okay, so that was a good thing. There we go. Lucas' publication sent Amari all the way in instead. There's no fear when I think it was Puff Piece. Amari was put on a strong with his critique over the troubles of Conosport. It caused a bit of a stir down in the garage. Morale. Oh, ass. Yeah. Okay, the news and the phone call.
Andrea,
Did you read his email?
I glanced at it.
He's a sly old fox at that one. Thank you for finding a place for Devon. As if we had a choice, Casper. As if it was our decision.
Yeah, I know.
How's it going with Devon anyway?
Yeah, he's still struggling. But he does really care about the team, so, you know, maybe it'll work out.
Well, that's something at least.
Rather him than his father, right?
Rather neither of them, Casper. Anyway, I'll see you.
Yeah, see you. Davidoff.
Ackerman. Look, I know it's none of my business, but that story about the mechanics really blowing up. I trust you're dealing with it.
I'm going to clear everything up myself. I've arranged a press conference. I'll tell them everything's fine.
That's not exactly what I'd call dealing with it.
You want me to fire him?
Well, that would be your decision, naturally.
I'm not going to fire a good mechanic without any proof. The decision is made.
So be it.
So what was Devon's condition? Though already what is suspected, Butler recently went on record for the first time to acknowledge his medical condition, tinnitus. Tinnitus or tintinitis, I have no idea how to pronounce that one, sorry. It's a condition in which the sufferer hears sounds that haven't come from an external source. Instead, the sounds come from inside a person's own body. Often described as a ringing in the ears, the sound might also take the form of buzzing or humming, and is often linked with hearing loss. Butler's symptoms included vertigo and dizziness. The condition worsened to the point where, in his own words, it became impossible for me to safely operate an F1 car. After a long break from his involvement with the sport, Devon Butler was here to correct me when I broached the subject of retirement. Steady on, mate, he said. I've retired from driving. I'm just getting started on F1. Toxic cold Arcana sport. Though the source wishes to remain anonymous, he said that the culture of Arcana sport is toxic, particularly around protecting Callie Meyer. The keeper of wrapped in cotton wool, says the source. If he's sending a rumor critical, Ackerman will tell her that you're not allowed to do that. He'll give it an official warning. I've seen it happen. Oh god, that's the mechanic. Does the sort feel like it's detrimental to his job? Absolutely, he says. Sometimes I have the present counter arguments. I can't do my job properly if I'm afraid to do that. But if that's how they want to run the team, that's up to them. But how much it is down to Ackerman protecting a job he's always done his best to help? Well, it's all about Davidoff. Butler protecting his daughter. So yeah, that was the mechanic. Opinion, it's not the car, it's the drivers. Much is made of Countersport technical foibles? No. Foible, whatever. Given the problems with reliability that plagued last year's KS01, but the KS02 shouldn't be judged by feelings of a forebear. In fact, Countersport's turnaround from a technical perspective is a story that's flown under the radar this year. Fewer unenforced DNFs, a more stable development platform, and a snazzy delivery to boot. It's a shame, therefore, that Aiden Jackson and Callie Meyer aren't getting the best out of it. They have to look squarely themselves. A true driver will be able to extract far more performance for the car. For example, back in my junior days, I constantly outperformed my rusting pile of metal. The infamous Singapore Sling. Always been considered one of the most technical tracks on the calendar, but from 2008 to 2013, Singapore's Marina Bay also carried it with a particularly fiendish hazard, the Singapore Sling. At turn 10, there used to be a brutal chicane, with curbs almost perfectly positioned to launch any slightly offline car. Get your engine wrong, and you'll be unsettled by the first curb, sending you off for a brief flight on the Singapore night sky, damaging any number of key floor, suspension, or chassis components up your hard re-entry. The chicane was eventually remodeled to a more horizontal setup, but no doubt those drivers were launched against the remember. Hamilton was a thing. As for the socials, Arab, Crofty. Without looking it up, who can remember the first win of the first series at Marina Bay? It was Alonso in that godforsaken 2008 Grand Prix. Yeah, Alonso 2008, controversial won that. Natalie Penkham, Maxime, the Ackerman fan, Rosanna Tennant. And there we go. For the emails, Casper Andreo. I'd like to direct the media relationship group to start using Devon now he's taking this role. Reminder, we need to give this role a former title. He's got a lot to offer to sport, and I know he can help the team, so thanks in advance for putting all this in place. As for Mark, hey boss, I have to admit, I was skeptical about this layout when it first announced, but it's really grown on me over the years. Alright, because Singapore changed the layout for this year, right, I forgot. I completely forgot about that one. Especially now that Sling Chicane is gone, as an engineer that was the cause of more than a few headaches. I've forwarded this to Aiden and Callie already. My main point of emphasis was walls equals bad, just like in the street circuit. Mark. And, okay, Aiden is 11th. Hang on a second, what? Alonso's a Ferrari? So driver switches can happen even in breaking point 2? What? Oh, it's... Paris is Aston Martin! Okay. Well then. That is a surprise. Okay. Let's go to the race.
Did Casper really want you to talk to Aiden?
I read between the lines. Look, Casper's good at lots of things, but I know people. Yeah, I know how to get in their heads. And I wanted to help Dad, help the team, so,
Leave me alone.
Listen, I'm just saying, mate, if you were such an incredible driver, you wouldn't be a constable, would you? Sorry, it's the truth. No offense.
Maybe I won't be here next season.
Oh, dude. You know what your problem is?
Yeah. You.
You think you're better than the team. I remember when Aiden Jackson was just happy to be behind the wheel of an F1 car. We all liked that guy far better than this one.
You never liked me.
No. But Casper did. Once upon a time. Now you're different now. You think you're too good for the team. Your head's stuck in some imaginary big three-seat in cloud cuckoo land, mate. No. You have got to drive the car you're in.
You're lecturing me about ego.
A subject I know well.
Oh, right. I get it. So you're allowed to be cocky, but I'm not. Is that it?
There's a difference.
How can there possibly be a difference?
This isn't you. This isn't you, mate.
Oh, get lost. Be true to myself. Drive the car I'm in. The wisdom of Devon Butler. Should I be living my best life too?
Just drive the car you're in, mate, yeah? Ciao.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Jackson, Mayer.
Aiden, you know what you're doing here. Let's lock in and give it everything. Show us what you got.
So, that was a glitch. I got excited for nothing. Anyway, one-stop strategy as per usual. On lap 7 from soft to mediums. The fuel is... yeah, okay. Alright, let's go. And it's 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, 5. And we're off in Marina Bay. And that's the first time in a while that you are controlling Aiden. There you go. Okay. Into what would be the first DRS zone. Ooh. Nothing. Okay, there we go. Past the second place driver at the sprint race at Spa. And past Alonso. Okay. Now watch out for here. Shit. Okay, there we go. That was just the last minute. Past Perez. Past Sainz. There we go, past Russell. There we go. and pass Hamilton, and that was lap number 1. And that should be fast lap of the race. I'm recording this video after the sprint race, and shout out to Oscar Piastri. Okay, sure, it's a sprint race, not exactly the same thing as a normal race, but a podium is a podium. Oh shit. Okay. Plus, he can say that he had Verstappen in his mirrors, which is something that not a lot of people can say this year. And another shout out to Pierre Gasly for the podium on a track that to him means a lot in not a good way, as we unfortunately all know. And speaking of, I watched the footage of Gasly paying tribute to Hubert at top of Radion. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say there.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
And into the pits we go. There we go. So Kelly's in 13th. Leclerc is down to 18th. Jesus. Verstappen is 6th.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
And back on the track. And speaking of what happened with Hubert and naturally Delano Montoff, the biggest talking point for a few months has been what can be done to make Eau-Rouge and Radion safer, especially in wet conditions. I personally saw a video that suggested a couple of ideas, and basically that whole video went, it is possible to make modifications, but it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world. And I'm aware I shouldn't bring this, but there's always to consider that FOM might just do might choose the nuclear option and get rid of SPA entirely, in case nothing can be done to to make Eau-Rouge and Radion more safer. And I think I said this already in a video before, but SPA being replaced is not as insane as you might think, because there's plenty of competition for that slot. There's there's a second race in Saudi Arabia. There's a proposed second race in China. There's that proposed race in Colombia. There's I think there's also a street circuit in the Philippines. But it wasn't a concept, it wasn't a proposal, it was just an idea. But the point I'm trying to make here is that even without Kyalami, SPA is not exactly completely safe from being blurred off the calendar. Plus, let's be all real, the main reason why SPA is on the calendar at all is only because Kyalami still needs to figure out what he wants to do with Formula 1. Because for all intents and purposes, there are some reasonable motives as to why SPA should be dropped. Okay. There we go. Past Bottas and De Vries and Magnussen in quick succession. And Gasly and Stroll. And Leclerc. There's Cali. There's Zhou. Thanks for free DRS. Past Tsunoda and another Williams. I'm guessing the Sergeant. As I was trying to say, there are some pretty reasonable reasons, sorry for the wordplay there, why Spa should be dropped off the calendar. The 2021 race being a farce, the having 2 deaths in the span of 5 years, Formula 1 wanting to focus more on street circuits. You know, there's a increased and of course increased. There's a lot of reasons, realistic reasons why Spa could be dropped off the calendar. Of course, I'm the first one that doesn't want Spa to be dropped off the calendar. Okay, what's going on with the car? Okay, whatever. I love Spa. It's one of my favorite circuits. And I'd be pretty sad if it's gone, but I wouldn't make a big fuss about it. And this was something that I wanted to say for a very, very long time, but yeah, news just came piling in, and yeah, I had no time to talk about this. And past Hamilton, and we've lapped everyone. Okay. 1 lap to go. Into the corner that killed Vettel's 2017 championship hopes. Into the first DRS zone. There we go. Now I think this is the place where the Singapore Sling was. Oh no, I think I think it was this one. Into the Anderson Bridge. The one where I think it was Jensen Button that had a communications failure in 2010, I think. There we go. Last couple of corners. Go. And that should be the end of the chapter.
Well, the results are in. There we have it. What a race that was.
The sheer grit and determination shown by some of the drivers out there today, Crofty, was nothing short of incredible.
Elbows out, especially from Aidan Jacks. Loved his race today, and he finally delivered the sort of performance that we know that he's capable of. So whatever they're saying to him over at Connor Sport, he seems to be listening to. Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula 1.
Now, Aidan, you have had your ups and downs this season, but tell me, on the whole, are you pleased with your overall performance?
Yeah, this one.
I'm really happy with what we've achieved. You know, F1 gets more and more competitive every single day, so I've really given it all this season, and, you know, today I've been able to show a little bit more of what we're capable of.
Okay, I'm going to be cheeky, go straight for the jugular. If you had to choose a teammate between Callie and Devon, who would it be?
If you had to choose a teammate between Callie and Devon, who would it be? I mean, Casper, for a simple reason that he fucking hates this too, so yeah, it has to be Casper.
I'm getting into trouble whatever I say here, aren't I? Can I have Casper back as a teammate instead? I'll talk him out of retirement.
Now, Aidan, you have recently hinted that you're not entirely happy at Connor Sport. Tell me, is it true?
I'm gonna go and say it's irrelevant.
Neither here nor there right now. I've got a job to do this season, and I want to do it the best I can.
There's been wild speculation on whether or not Connor Sport can even be on the grid next season, so can you tell us more?
That's a question for the investors.
Question for the investors, but no one's funding Connor Sport as a charity. They're funding it as a business. And if a business isn't successful, then there's definitely an issue.
Well, thank you for chatting with us. Great to have your time.
Hi, Davidoff.
Aidan, quite the answer you gave today. Didn't have you pegged as a man of business.
Yeah, I didn't really think anything of it. Of course you need to make money.
Don't we all, Aidan?
Yeah, but Connor Sport must be profitable, right?
We're still running the projections for next season.
So it's not certain then?
Time will tell. You said it yourself, it's just business. Thanks, Aidan.
Singapore Roundup. Ferrari can afford to be content for now. Meanwhile, at Countersport, it's as if Aiden Jackson finally woke up on Marina Bay. Assuring the disappointing performances and a lackluster strategy off track has seen the F1 world talking about him for all the wrong reasons lately. But it's not enough for him to show those much touted flashes of promise he showed in this debut season back in 2020. If we're going to start taking this driver seriously, he needs to start putting in some premium consistent finishes. Of course, he's to be congratulating his performance today, but it only shines a spotlight on the disparity between what we all know he's capable of and what he's actually been delivering. Where he hasn't been all season long. And it's just like it's too little too late. Coming soon, F1 Cross Sustainable Fuel. Only 2023, but Formula 1 moves quickly. We only just got grips with the new regulations introduced last year, but we're already looking ahead to 2026, which will bring in one of the most comprehensive and important rule changes in sports history. 2026 will bring in increased electrified power, while also mandating the cars have to run on 100% sustainable fuels as part of F1's effort to go green during this decisive decade of climate action. Sebastian Vettel has already tasted the future, or should we say, retro future, because in 2022 he ran Nigel Mansell's iconic 1992 title-winning FW14B with carbon-neutral fuel formed of bio-waste and carbon capture. Green fuels, to put it simply. Vettel's permanent can be there for a classic of yesteryear. Now it's time for the cars of tomorrow to take up the mantle. So, yeah, let's just forget the fact of Ford is coming to the sport and Honda is coming to the sport, as well as Audi. So, yeah, sure, let's just ignore all that. I mean, of course, sustainable fuel, great cause, but still. And those are all the older news. For socials, yes, McFadden. Oh, that's Devon. Arab. The Devon fan. Okay. Now for the emails. First, get access to last season's data. I'll look forward to the analysis. Also, I know Demon's been getting a little more involved than any of us anticipated. I'm sure you understand it's not up to me. I don't think it's not a situation for anyone. Great race today. See you in the debrief. Aiden, you can't get away from those butlers, eh? Can't believe Demon's back. Presumably it's a full-time prat. I jest. I'm sure Demon's good larks. I've just seen the GP from the Maldives. Okay. Dodgy Wi-Fi in this hotel, but it's not enough to see your race. First place, and return to form. Nice one, Aiden. Best, Brian. Alright, Aiden. Guess we're talking about your interview today. If I were you, I'd vote him for a while unless you want another round of media training foisted on you. Not bad out there today, by the way. You give listen to your old pal Devon, and who knows what you might accomplish. And with that, we're gonna end the video here. So, if you liked it, give it a like. If you're more content like this, it's probably click the notification bell so you get it when my video drops. I have nothing else to say other than see you next video, everybody. This is Alpha, signing out.